Hello friends, it's been a long time. The game is finally out. This journey started 2 years ago for me back in 2023 December when I remember making this video right here saying that 2024 is going to be a little different because I now had a job. The job was game designer at Notorious Studios working on what is now Eldegarde. It used to be Legacy Steel and Sorcery, and the game's finally out after 2 years. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that, a little bit about the experience, kind of what I've been working on, and yeah, show you the game. So the OGs might remember about 2 years ago, at that point I had already was messing with Unreal Engine for like 2 or 3 years. Remember I made People Island, a blockbuster hit on Steam. You can get it right now still. Terrible game, do not recommend, it might not work. And then after that I kind of went into all of these little WoW mashups. We made this this Fortnite in 7 days, and then we made the Torghast Racer, and then we made this. It was a great experience, and I do have a lot of you guys to thank for that because at least when we made this game, the Among Us in WoW, I did have a lot of help from you guys on Twitch because we did this whole thing live, I remember, and it was a great experience, and I'm still very thankful for that. So after this, at some point in 2023, I remember seeing a tweet from Chris Kaleki about their new game they're making and how they're using Unreal Engine. So I shot my shot. And I asked them, hey, I'm kind of learning Unreal Engine. If you guys ever need any sort of, anything I can help, I'd be open to talk. And at first he said, there are new studios, so they're looking for more senior members. And I was like, yeah, I get it. But then a couple of months later, he was like, actually, he wanted to have a chat. And I talked with some people in the team. And I was offered a position as associate game designer. And I'll go in a little bit of, kind of like a history of what I've been doing at the game. The first thing I did, there was a lot of planting flowers, doing a lot of grunt work, a lot of data assets, data management, and a lot of learning. We are using the game playability system, a framework. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, it's kind of like it's nerd stuff. So as I was learning this nerd stuff, we started working on the next class, which was the Rogue. And for the Rogue, I was personally working on the swords the most. I did the swords kit and a couple of perks that work with the swords. Obviously, amazing team. So it wasn't like me making it on my own. It was like a combined effort. But that was the stuff that I worked on initially the most. And we went through a bunch of different iterations for the Rogue swords. There were like 2 different versions in the beginning. There's a lot of changes. You can see some of the earlier prototypes here. And then after that, it was finally time for the game to hit early access. And that happened last year. That was a big moment. It was Legacy Steel and Sorcery, early access. Again, it's called Eldegarde now. Name change, we'll get to that. Now, not only did we have to, make next classes and the changes for whatever we were planning to do next, but we also had to deal with the live service game, and we also had to deal with the community. I was kind of doing community management as well. Our Discord kind of blew up overnight when we opened early access. Suddenly, you realize that having 4,000 people playtest the game, they find a lot more bugs than just our small team of 30 people. So a lot of changes had to be done during early access. It was very hectic. There was a lot of, I remember a lot of game-breaking stuff. The sound bug, if you remember, that was an OG one. And then the Wizard and the Paladin were the next classes to be worked on. Those were the things that I worked on the most in the last year. Wizard came out, I think, in Season 2 or Season 1 in early access. And then the Paladin just came out last week when the game actually released for real. So very excited to finally put that out there. So what kind of game is it? Well, maybe I should have started with this. The game is it started off as a PvP VE extraction action RPG. So imagine, it's a third-person RPG. You have classes, and you basically go on a map and you fight other players, and you fight monsters, and you extract, and then you craft, and a bunch of other stuff. However, throughout early access, we got a bunch of feedback, both internal and external, that made us kind of shift directions close to the end. The feedback was sometimes the game is a little too sweaty. It's a little too punishing and too hard, because if you died, you would kind of lose most of, if not all of your gear, which it wasn't easy to come by. So we decided to make the game a little more casual friendly. You still have the PvE, the whole thing, which is how you get the most gear, but you can also play the game fully PvE, where other players, can help you if they want to. You can, collude as much as you want in the PvE mode to fight monsters. So the PvE mode was a big success, I think. On top of PvE mode, we also added arena, like actual, WoW style 2v2, 3v3, 1v1. It's not rated right now, but the plan is to make it rated in the future. And we also have kind of like a dungeon/raid. Right now there's only one of them, but the plan is to make more of them in the future. And, speaking of the future, we do have further plans to expand the game systems and to kind of like morph the game into a more open world kind of mini MMO style, because a lot of the elements are there. At the same time, we also shifted and changed the name from Legacy Steel and Sorcery to Eldegarde. The reason for the name change was Legacy Steel and Sorcery is a very generic kind of name. It's very long. It's hard to search because if you remember the name, if you type Legacy, there's like a billion stuff that has Legacy in the name. So the choice was made to actually just change the game direction a little bit and change the name. So now it's called Eldegarde, and it's finally out. And that's what I wanted to say. 2 years ago, I said 2024 will be different, and that was true. 2026 will be different once again. I don't know how, because I don't know what's going to happen now that the game is live. The game is live service, so we will keep maintaining it and keep building on it. And hopefully, if the game is well received, we do have a lot of plans to build a bunch of stuff on top of it. One regret that I do have a little bit is the limited marketing we had for release. As you guys might have noticed, there's a 0. That's pretty much everything I wanted to say in this video. I just wanted to let you guys know that the game is finally out. If you think you'd be interested in trying it out, try it out, link in the description. Eldegarde on Steam. Give it a shot, see if you like it. And I'll see you guys in the next video very soon. Peace.